What is up, YouTube? The Real Sam Pinnock back here for another video. This one's a little bit different today. Today's going to be a backsault tutorial video. So I posted a tutorial on TikTok and Instagram. This one's going to be a little bit more in-depth though. So I'm going to spend a little bit more time explaining some stuff to you, going over some things that weren't in the shorter tutorials and giving you guys a little bit more value, a little bit more help. Hopefully this tutorial helps you out a lot. Let's get started. Before we go through any of the steps of the backsault, you need to understand how a backsault works. So there's three main steps for the backsault. First one is your takeoff. This involves every part of your body. So your arms will swing up, your legs will push off the trampoline or the ground, your chest will lift, and your head will stay straight. So everything's involved in the takeoff. Second thing is rotation. There's really only two things that are involved in the rotation, which is your knees and your hips. Your knees lift up and over your body, and your hips help your knees come up over your body. Third step is landing. Everything is involved in landing once again because you've got to stay tight when you land, and everything's used. So you land on your feet, obviously. I hope you're landing on your feet. Stay nice and tight, legs bent, arms out, head forwards. That's sort of like a quick crash course to the backsault. Let's break it down even more and go through those steps. So because I'm going a little bit more in depth, there is going to be more than 3 steps. I'm going to try and give you guys as much information as possible. So the first thing you need to keep in mind when you guys are learning your backsault, or any skill in general, is the environment that you're doing it in. So I'm in a very safe environment here. I have this tramp in front of me. I've got all this padding. I've got this net that keeps me safe. I've got my doors zipped up so I'm not going to fall out of it. So my environment is perfect. It's nice and safe. If you guys don't have a trampoline, that's fine. You don't necessarily need a trampoline. It makes it way easier, but you don't need one. Soft grass, sand, any of that sort of stuff will do. Just use your common sense. If there's sharp stuff around, or there's bricks, or there's cement, probably not a good place to start your backsault practice. Okay? Environment, make sure it's safe. So, now that you know to check your environment and you're nice and safe, we can move on to the first step of the backsault. We'll call it the second step. So, second step is your takeoff. It's all about your chest positioning and your nice straight lines through your body. So, what we're going to try and do when we take off, standing nice and straight, arms up by ears, we're going to swing our arms down and bend our legs at the exact same time. So they need to work together. So as your arms swing down, your legs will bend, and then as your arms swing up, your legs will straighten. They have to work at the exact same time. This is going to get you the most amount of jump possible. Should look like this. Okay? Arms and legs work at the same time. You need to make sure that you're nice and straight when you take off. If you take off nice and tall and straight, you're going to get your maximum amount of height. If you push your chest backwards or you reach back, your backsalt's going to be really low and long. It's not going to work, especially if you're doing it on grass or sand or eventually concrete. You need to make sure you're stretching up, not back. I would recommend practicing just jumping until you can use 100% of your power and still be in control. Okay, so next thing we're going to talk about is rotation in your backsault, which is one of the key components to the backsault. If you're not rotating, you're not doing a backsault. So there's a very simple drill that I do for people to show them how a backsault should rotate. And it goes like this. So basically you need to lay flat on your back with your arms up by your ears, and you're going to practice pulling your knees up over to your shoulders. And you're going to use your hips to assist that as well. It looks like this. Nice and straight, stretching tall, just like if we were doing a jump up into the air and getting ready to backsault. And then we'll pull our knees up, lift our hips off the floor, and then if you can, grab your legs. You want to try and do that slow to start with and then speed it up. So we'll go a little bit quicker, and then super fast. You can see just by doing that, that makes my body start to rotate and pulls me over. Practice that drill. If you can do back drops on the trampoline like this, I highly recommend you learn back pullovers, which uses the same drill or same body positions and actions we just did, but it's a little bit closer to a backsault. It feels more like a backsault. It's not, but it feels more like it. That looks like this. Drop the tip back, knees over, hips, and land. Do it one more time. Back pullovers are also super helpful for spotting the trampoline as well. You'll spot the trampoline exactly the same way as you would in a backsault, in a back pullover. So as I'm bouncing on my back and as I'm rolling over, I'm looking for the trampoline bed. And as soon as I see that trampoline bed, I'm making calculations in my head as to how I need to land and how big my body needs to be. So you can see I spread my body out and I get ready to land. I'll show you again. Just like I would in a backsault. Practice this step till it's super, super easy. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the timing of the rotation. You can't just jump up and pull your tuck in and expect to flip around at the right time and land it. Backsault and a lot of gymnastics is very much about timing. So there's a principle in gymnastics called peaking. It's a peaking principle. So basically what that means is you wanna be making sure you're doing your body actions at the exact time where they need to be done. In this case, for your backsault, you need to spin at the peak of your jump. Okay, peak. If you're spinning at the peak of your jump, or the highest point of your jump, you have the most time to spin, and you have the most time to let go of your tuck, open out, and land safely. Okay, so the peaking principle is really, really important, and it's handy to understand. So I'm going to show you a backsault with good peaking, and then I'm going to show you a backsault with bad peaking. See if you can pick which one's which. So it's pretty easy to see. First one's horrible, second one has nice peaking. Higher, it spins quicker, it's easier to land, just better all round. So make sure when you guys are doing your rotation, you're pulling your knees and your hips over your body, you do that right at the top of your jump. Okay, so you know how to jump up, you know how to spin around. There's one thing missing. You need to know how to land. Your landing position should be a safety landing or a motorbike landing. So, it looks like this. Fairly simple. Legs bent, arms out, and land. You don't have to land your back tuck like this every time, but it's the safest position to land. So if I was going to do it at a back tuck, I'll show you what that looks like. So knees bent, arms out, chest is up, and I'm seeing the backsault go around, and I'm spotting the trampoline bed before I land. I talked about this before in your back pullovers. That's why it's a really good idea to do those first. You need to watch for the trampoline so you can let go of your legs and open out in time to land safely. So I'm actually got my eyes open the whole time. You should have your eyes open too. You should be seeing trampoline, sky, trampoline, trampoline bed. As soon as I start to see the back of my trampoline bed, I know it's time to open out and start to try and land. This goes for singles, doubles, triples, whatever you're doing. All right. Okay, so we've gone through pretty much all the steps of the backsault. Now I'm just going to give you a little bit more extra info on some other quick tips to keep in mind when you guys are doing backsalts and gymnastics in general. So, with the backsault, you need to make sure when you're taking off, you're keeping your head forwards. Okay, keeping your head forwards is super, super important. Not only does it help you with visual, so you can see what's going on, but it's a lot safer as well. When I used to do standing backsalts ages ago, I used to get a lot of lower back pain, and it's because I chuck my head straight back when I take off my backsalts. So always keep your head forwards. If you're over-rotating your backsalts or any other skill going backwards, do not put your arms behind you. Keep your arms by your side or in front of you if you're going to over-rotate your backsault. I'd much rather hit my head on the tramp and get a bit of a headache than have my arm stuck out and a broken arm. That's just me. I assume you guys would probably be the same. All right, keep your arms in, not out. Don't feel like you guys need to jump super high for your backsalts either. Obviously you need a little bit of height for your backsault, but don't be like launching yourself extremely high thinking you need all that height to get around. Jump at a comfortable level and go from there. You don't need heaps of height. Commitment. Commitment's huge. You guys need to be committing to the skill. If you're not committing to the skill, you risk injury. Chances are you're probably going to take off, get halfway around and start rotating, which is good, and then freak out, bail out, and hurt yourself. Prepare yourself before you do your backsault. Be like, okay, Sam, we're doing a backsault now and we're 100% committing to it. We're not going to pull out. This is it. I usually count myself in, not for backsalts because they're pretty autonomous at the moment. They feel like a tuck jump. They're really, really easy. But for other harder skills, I count myself in. So I go 3, 2, 1, go. And I try not to ever back out of a 3, 2, 1, go. That works for me. So commit to your skills, especially your backsalts. If you guys are still too scared to chuck your backsault around, which is understandable, it is scary and fear plays a huge part in it. Get a friend to help you. The easiest way to get a friend to help you is if they put their jumper around your waist so that both the sleeves are over here, tie the sleeves in a little knot and hold onto the jumper. And you can just stand here holding onto your friend's jumper. And as you jump up and down, when they go for their backsault, you can just lift the jumper up if they look like they're gonna land on the head. All right, so the last thing I'll tell you guys is, well, the last thing we'll talk about is fear. Fear is gonna play a huge part in skills when you're learning them, especially scary skills like backsalts. Your first backsalt's always super scary. Your first front salt's scary. My first double backsault was super scary. So fear plays a huge part, and especially if you're gonna keep doing gymnastics and you wanna keep learning skills, you're gonna have to learn how to deal with fear. I've gotten to the point where this is pretty much what I'm doing. Like, I made a decision to really chase my dreams and do flips for a living and make tutorials for you guys and post on Instagram and all that sorts of stuff. So I've sort of come to grips with the fact that I'm gonna hurt myself eventually. I am gonna break bones eventually. And I've tried to develop this whatever happens, happens mentality. That's what I do, but that doesn't work for everybody, and that takes a while to develop. The best thing that I can give for you guys is you need to find your own coping mechanism when it comes to fear. So I still use this, and I use 3, 2, 1, go, or 3, 2, 1, jump. So count yourself in, or get other people to count you in. If you guys have been following me for a while, you would have heard many, many times Alex or Brandon or other people counting me in for skills. That's because I'm scared, and counting myself in won't work for me. I need someone else to do it. So that can help you out, but whatever coping mechanism you decide to adopt, whether you close your eyes and you visualize what you're doing, whether you need to do a little spin before you do your backsault, whether you count yourself down, keep it consistent. Practice that technique, get better at that technique, and it'll get to the point where you have quite a lot of confidence in the fact that you'll be able to push through the fear. You'll step up to something and you'll be scared and you'll be like, okay, I've developed this technique for a while now, I know I can do this, and then you can count yourself in and you can go for it, or do your spin or whatever you want to do. So find a coping mechanism and stick to it, practice it and perfect it. All right, so I know I said fear was the last thing I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to do one more thing for you guys. I'm going to put a few clips after I finish talking here of some super slow-mo backsalts just for you guys to study. So you can take your time, sit down and really look at what my body's doing and how it's spinning. I'll slow these clips right down so they're really, really easy to understand. Hopefully this tutorial has helped you out, guys. Please leave a like, a comment, let me know if you want to see more of these, because I can definitely do more of these. There's a plethora of skills that I can do tutorials on. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks, guys.